life. If you think you're gonna take me out, it's gonna be really difficult.
As Episode 7 kicks off, the consequences of last episode's chaos are front and center. The death of the ABLE inspector has triggered a full-scale shutdown of Montague distillers. We see the official notice posted like a death sentence, and just like that, Dwight's dream of turning a criminal legacy into a legitimate empire goes up in smoke. What makes this even worse is that it wasn't just a business closure, it's a message. The law is circling, and someone wants Dwight out of the game, legally or not. Inside the crew, the tension is boiling. Bigfoot is shaken, blaming himself for the inspector's death, while Mitch and Cleo argue that they should have buried the body instead of reporting it as an accident. Dwight shuts that down hard. He knows covering it up would have made them targets for murder charges, but now that it's been declared an accident, it's only a matter of time before the authorities start digging deeper into every corner of their operation. The question is, who's feeding the fire? Meanwhile, Tyson brings even more bad news. One of their runners just got pulled over with a trunk full of bourbon, and word is ABLE agents are cracking down on every distributor connected to Montague. What was once a high-end brand is now evidence in a federal case. Dwight realizes they've been boxed in from every side, and his enemies aren't just after his bourbon. They're trying to choke off every legal option he has left. And while Dwight is scrambling to hold the crew together, another storm is brewing behind his back. Vince, who's been playing both sides for weeks, finally makes a move that could destroy everything. In a quiet backroom conversation, he gives up the location of a hidden stash of barrels to an anonymous source, someone we later learn is tied directly to Quiet Ray. Now, with his business crippled, law enforcement closing in, and a traitor in the crew, Dwight faces a hard truth. Going legit isn't just over. It may have been a mistake from the beginning, and that's when he makes a quiet call to a name he's been avoiding since Season 3 started, Quiet Ray. But there's a price to everything. Ray answers with one chilling sentence. "Are you ready to play by my rules now?" In that moment, we see a glimpse of the Dwight from the early seasons. Not the businessman, not the diplomat, but the cold, calculated gangster who survives by any means necessary. Back at the safe house, Bevilacqua is finally released from the holding cell where Musso had him stashed. But the damage is done. His confidence is shattered, and, more importantly, he's been given an ultimatum. Work for Musso or go down for the wiretap and tax charges the feds are stacking up. Bevilacqua doesn't answer immediately, but the look in his eyes tells us everything. He's cornered. In the final scenes of this first section, we see Mitch and Cleo launching an attack on Dunmar's distillery. It's not just payback, it's a warning. They torch a shipment, leave behind a single barrel with Dwight's name carved into it, and vanish into the night. But what they don't know is that Cole, Jeremiah Dunmar's right-hand man, saw the whole thing. And he's not planning a counterattack. He's planning an execution. The attack on Dunmar's distillery was meant to send a message, but what Dwight's crew didn't realize is that it was already too late. The war had started before the first punch was thrown. In the opening moments of this section, we see Jeremiah Dunmar holding a scorched piece of wood from the destroyed barrel, Dwight's name burned into it like a signature. But Dunmar isn't angry. He's smiling, because Dwight just gave him exactly what he needed, a reason to strike back, and a cover story to justify it to the authorities. Dunmar plays it smart. Instead of launching a loud counterattack, he leaks surveillance footage from the distillery. The grainy, black-and-white video clearly shows Mitch and Cleo breaking in. That's all ABLE needs. Within hours, arrest warrants are issued, and Cleo disappears off the map. Mitch goes underground, and Dwight is once again left cleaning up a mess that never should have happened. And just when things seem like they can't get any worse, a ghost from Dwight's past returns. Margaret. In a quiet but tension-filled scene, she shows up at the saloon. It's the first time we've seen her since Dwight was nearly killed at her house back in Season 2. She doesn't say much, but what she does say cuts deep. She warns Dwight that his name is showing up in state financial audits tied to the bourbon business. She doesn't know the full story, but she knows someone is funneling money through fake shell companies, and Dwight's name is attached to the paperwork. Whether it's a setup or someone from his own crew, it means one thing: the feds are coming. And then comes the twist. The first of two major betrayals in this episode. Vince. He's been walking a tightrope for weeks, but in episode 7, he jumps. Quiet Ray calls a private meeting in a small, windowless diner outside Tulsa. The setting is simple, but the conversation is anything but. Ray lays it all out. He knows about the illegal bourbon shipments, the inspector's death, and the crew's failed attempt to take down Dunmar's operation. Vince doesn't even blink. He gives Ray full access to the remaining bourbon inventory in exchange for one thing: control of the Bread to Buck saloon. Ray agrees. And just like that, one of Dwight's original lieutenants becomes the mole in his inner circle. The betrayal is surgical. No drama, no confrontation, just a signature, a handshake, and a quiet nod as Ray lights a cigarette. The scene ends with Vince walking away from the diner, the weight of his decision visible, but not heavy enough to stop him. Meanwhile, Bevilacqua finally makes his choice. And it's not the one Dwight hoped for. In a dimly lit garage-turned-interrogation room, Musso plays the wiretap audio for Bevilacqua. We hear his voice clearly, discussing options for cleaning up a problem. It's vague, but damaging enough to build a case. Bevilacqua caves. He agrees to cooperate, not just with Musso, but with the feds. In return, he wants protection for his family and full immunity. Musso agrees, but not before making one thing clear. Bevilacqua will wear a wire the next time he talks to Dwight. This isn't just a takedown, it's a trap.